organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on tonight's newscast.
Trigger warnings. We all receive the emails, but do we really know what they're all about?
And nowadays, there's an app for everything. Find out how university students are making an app for high school football.
And in sports,
find out which Hawkeye leads the team defensively.
We've got all this for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Greta Miley. There have been 8 reported sexual misconducts to occur on the UI campus this semester. With each occurrence, students receive email alerts from UI Public Safety. We sent Kelly O'Lean out to find out what the university is doing for trigger warnings.
The UI community has received at least one crime alert email in regards to sexual assault.
We send out an email that's usually called a crime alert. Some people refer to it as a timely warning, and within that we include a trigger warning.
But do they know what trigger warnings are?
Most students are familiar with trigger warnings as the emails that are sent out by the University of Iowa to alert the student body of a crime that has been committed on campus.
So what is a trigger warning?
They are a national and even international utilization to allow survivors of sexual violence to become aware that the material they're about to engage in, whether that's a print material, music, or movies or documentary kind of styles, that it addresses the issue of sexual violence so those survivors will not be taken aback or blindsided by the information.
Trigger warning started last spring as means to warn past victims that emails may contain information of malicious crimes which they may have previously experienced.
People who've had sexual assault as a trauma in their life can decide whether they want to go on reading or not, or whether they feel that reading more about sexual assault would be traumatic for them.
These emails, however, can trigger flashbacks and painful images to past victims if not warned. I caught up with some students on campus, and here's what they had to say about trigger warnings.
About reading the emails, I think that once people are opening those emails, they can see what it's about, already, once it's already open. So, I don't know how effective the trigger warnings are.
The next time you see a trigger warning, be prepared for what's next. Kelly O'Lean, Daily Iowan TV.
UI students were alerted late Wednesday afternoon to yet another sexual assault in the area. According to the alert, the alleged assault happened on Tuesday night around 9:30 p.m. A woman walking alongside the Old Capitol Mall near Clinton and Washington Streets when a man grabbed her arm, pushed her against the wall, and continued to whisper into her ear and grope her. A bystander intervened and the alleged assaulter left. This is the first incident where the person being accused was a stranger to the victim.
Investigators might be closing in on how a plane that went missing in the spring went off the radar in the first place. You might recall the disappearance of the Malaysia flight MH370. It has been missing since March 8th. Now the Australian Transportation Safety Bureau is reporting the plane spiraled into the Indian Ocean when its fuel ran out. The new finding could help officials in finally locating the plane.
But first, Greta, it was an absolutely gorgeous day today without a cloud in sight.
I couldn't agree more, Nick. I really hope that weather will actually continue to the weekend. We'll now toss it over to our own Kelly O'Lean, who's standing by in the weather studio. Kelly, will this weather continue into the weekend?
Well, Greta, unfortunately, it's only looking good for tailgating on Saturday. Tomorrow morning will be chilly with a high of 41 degrees. Ooh, and partly cloudy. Those clouds will stick with us throughout the day with a high of 54 in the afternoon. It will clear up, however. Temperatures will drop down to 49 degrees tomorrow evening. Breaking down the weekend, it's looking beautiful for homecoming, tailgating on Saturday with clear, sunny skies. And hopefully, Iowa's score will be as nice as the weather with a high of 59 degrees. For those of you celebrating Iowa's homecoming, Sunday will be a great day for recovering because it will be partly cloudy with a 40% chance of rain. That weather will linger into next week, starting us off on Monday with the high staying at 58 degrees and an 80% chance of rain. As those clouds begin to disappear, temperatures will rise into Tuesday with highs in the low 60s, and Wednesday we will have a high of 66 degrees and clear, sunny skies. hopefully for the remainder of the week. Well, that's all I have at the DITV Weather Studio. Have a great homecoming. Back to you at the desk.
About 15,000 Hawkeye fans are expected to come to the University of Iowa's homecoming parade tomorrow night. The parade will showcase over 100 student groups on campus and local organizations. The parade starts at 5:45 p.m. and spectators are encouraged to get there early with lawn chairs to secure a spot and enjoy the festivities.
Earlier this afternoon, Hawkeye students gathered on Hubbard Park for a Hawkeye feed. University of Iowa student government offered free hot dogs, burgers, and chips for all students to show their school spirit. Homecoming events will conclude on the Pennacrest for Iowa Shout at 6 p.m. tonight. The event will showcase students performing their talents through acting and dancing.
University of Iowa students have developed an app that helps people track the scores and stats of their high school sports teams. It's called Spectator. It provides its users with live scoring, full rosters, and both player and team stats on the three main sports, basketball, football, and baseball. Co-founders John Meisers and J.D. McCullough came up with the app last November after they questioned why high school rosters were still on paper in this digital age.
Right now, we basically are just providing what is already online that they can go search for, only we're providing it in a mobile setting. But we want to have a lot more. The biggest thing that we want to provide is live scoring.
Spectator launched in March and has continued to grow. The app is run by a team comprised of current University of Iowa students and recent graduates. As of now, it focuses on 4A Iowa high schools and boys sports. In the future, the team plans on bringing coverage to more high school sports in Iowa and around the Midwest. They will also highlight athletes who are trying to get college scholarships. The app is available to download on iPhones.
The football bye week is over, and for everything black and gold, we'll toss it over to our own Jalen Sochik and Chelsea Brown for this week's pregame show. Ladies?
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to your Thursday pregame edition of Daily Iowan TV. Tonight we take a look at the defensive side of the Iowa program with an exclusive interview from defensive end Drew Ott and more on the leading interceptionist for Iowa.
But first, as always, we take a look at this weekend's matchup, the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hoosiers sit 0-1 in the Big Ten, but are looking for another road victory to add to the 2014 season record. I took a look at how these two teams match up. It's homecoming week for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and they play host to the Indiana Hoosiers. Iowa 55-42-5 for homecoming, and 42-28-4 in the series against the Hoosiers.
They've been moving the ball and scoring points basically against anybody. Yeah, we're up against a very tough opponent.
Hawkeyes only allowing nearly 19 points inside Kinnick Stadium this season, but the Hoosiers averaging 36.5 points on the road. Iowa's rush defense will have their hands full against an up-tempo Hoosier offense. The Hoosiers averaging 300 yards per game in rushing, but the Hawkeyes normally having success in this category, holding rush offenses to only 93.2 yards a game.
We're going to spread the ball around, we're going to throw it in the perimeter, we're going to get it downfield.
You know, they're a very good offense, they're a very fast tempo, and they've got a really good running back, good quarterback, and very athletic receivers, so we got to be ready to go Saturday.
Iowa will be going up against one of the most talented running backs in the nation, Tevin Coleman. The NCAA and Big Ten second leading rusher averages 168 yards a game, for a total of 841 yards this season, with 8 rushing touchdowns. Iowa's Mark Wiseman in comparison with a total of just 260 yards for 6 rushing touchdowns.
Tevin, I think, realistically, is probably one of the more talented, if not as talented as any back in this league. He's an impact guy, very, very strong, very, very talented.
Both teams display a strong set of offensive linemen. All of IU's linemen boast experience, including their backups.
We've got an outstanding offensive line. I think it's one of the better offensive lines in the league. And what I like about our offensive line is that our starting right guard and starting right tackle from a year ago missed all 12 games. So we were able to accomplish some decent offensive numbers with basically half the line out.
Hawkeyes and Hoosiers will kick off at 11 a.m. this Saturday inside Kinnick Stadium. But on the other side of the ball for Indiana stands another strength battle for the Hawkeyes. Indiana is the 4th-ranked defense in the Big Ten, averaging 7 tackles for loss per game. And one coach on Indiana's sidelines behind this power defense is no shy face to the Iowa program.
That's exactly right, Jalen. William Inge is the current co-defensive coordinator for the Hoosiers. Inge was a defensive end for Iowa from 1993 to 1996, creating monster stats throughout his career, including 173 tackles, 24 sacks, and 37 tackles for loss.
Inge played under Hawkeye legend Hayden Fry himself in Fry's last bowl game appearance in the 1996 Alamo Bowl. The defense pitched a shutout against the passing offense of Texas Tech, ending the game in a score of 27-0.
After his football career at Iowa, Inge soon returned to Iowa City and became the recruiting coordinator for Fry's final season, helping sign the following classes that won head coach Kirk Ferentz 2 Big Ten championships. He then left the program in 2001.
It'll also be a homecoming of sorts for Inge this weekend too, Chelsea. And Phil Parker's defense continually creating explosive Iowa defensive ends such as Drew Ott. The junior leads Iowa with 3 sacks and 5.5 tackles for loss, tying for 13th in the Big Ten. Football reporter Whitney Blakemore caught up with Ott earlier this week. Whitney?
Hey guys, it's Whitney Blakemore here with defensive end Drew Ott. And Drew, Indiana's running back Tevin Coleman is one of the nation's best and Big Ten's second leading rusher. What are you guys going to have to do defensively to stop the Hoosiers' rushing game?
We're just going to have to be sound defensively, know our responsibilities, and be aggressive to the football.
All right, and you lead Iowa with 3 sacks. What are you going to do to continue to improve your numbers?
Just work hard in practice. I got a good offensive lineman to go against Sheriff, so hopefully he'll help me craft my skill a little bit.
And it's been almost a month since you guys have been playing at Kinnick. How's it going to feel coming back and for homecoming especially?
It'll be exciting. There'll be a lot of fans there. Hopefully it'll be packed and should be ready to go.
All right, well, thank you so much, Drew, and back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Whitney. And relieving some of the pressure in the secondary is senior John Loudermilk. Whitney took a look at the strong safety whose stats are leading Iowa's defense.
Season best for fewest points, first downs, passing yards, and total yards allowed. That's what Iowa's defense did in the team's 24-10 road victory at Purdue, making it the best performance of the season. But the 16th nationally ranked unit in rushing defense couldn't do it without their strong safety, John Loudermilk. The 6'2", 210-pound senior leads the team with 2 interceptions, both of which he recorded at Purdue.
It was a good feeling, it feels good to help the team in any way possible, and I would just say it was nice.
While the Ohio native made the catches, he said it's his defensive line that is helping force those turnovers.
Oh, it helps a ton, when the quarterback's pressured, he's got to get the ball out of his hands quick. It helps so much, and they've done a great job.
Loudermilk has progressed immensely since last year as he currently shares the team lead of 36 tackles and has already matched his career best of 11 tackles a game this season.
I'd say the game's slowing down a lot for me. Kind of when you're a first-year starter last year, everything was going a lot faster, and I think this year everything's going a lot slower, and I'm preparing better, and everything's just kind of clicking for me.
Loudermilk and his defense will have to continue to keep making those plays if they want to stop Indiana's offense, who averages 300 yards rushing. Whitney Blakemore, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Loudermilk shares the lead for total tackles this season with senior linebacker Quentin Olson.
Unfortunately, that'll do it for us here in the sports studio tonight. Be sure to pick up a print copy of the Daily Iowan pregame tomorrow.
And be sure to check out our sports blog at dailyiowansports.com for live updates from Kinnick Stadium this homecoming Saturday.
Nick, Greta, back to you guys at the desk.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek in tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan.
Find out how local campaigns are using social media to impact their races.
Iowa City Hospice cut their ribbon for the grand opening today, and the Daily Iowan was there to cover all of it.
And there's a tier update. The Board of Regents proposed cutting costs. Find out more tomorrow.
Well, SpongeBob celebrates today by saying Hinga Dinga Durgan. It's Leif Erikson Day, and while many know about today through SpongeBob SquarePants, it's an actual holiday.
October 9th celebrates the day Norwegian explorers landed in North America in 1825. Erikson was the one that led that expedition. So, happy Leif Erikson Day.
Hey, happy Leif Erikson Day to you as well. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of Daily Iowan TV.
Tune in this Sunday for the latest news or check us out anytime at dailyiowan.com.
I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Greta Miley. Have a great night.
You can can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage, and you can also read and watch us on your iPad.